Good evening, parents. Miss Jen here to welcome you to back to school night. I know that our back to school night is a little different this year than what we're used to, but I'm going to go through a presentation, give you some information, and then walk you through some things online that your students are doing. So I know that we're off to a great start, a little bit of a strange school year, but everyone is really doing a great job and trying their hardest. So we're going to keep up that good work. Okay, let's take a look at a few things. So welcome to room 24. I think most of you do know me. My name is Jen Henderson. The kids call me Miss Jen. You guys can also call me Miss Jen. A little bit about me. This is my 20th year in education. Things that I love: travel, style. You can maybe kind of tell from the background on my PowerPoint. I love fashion, decorating, food, gardening, family, and friends. Some other things that I love: relaxing, spending time with family and friends, my dog, eating yummy things, and Giants baseball. I graduated from Fresno State with my bachelor's degree, all of my credentials, and my master's degree. So I am a Fresno State alum. And a special little treat for you and your student: I was a kindergarten student myself back in 1983. And there I am on the first day of school with my cat Scooter in the picture. So let's talk about your students now and what they will be learning this year here at school. So the lessons that we will be doing are California Common Core state standards aligned. We will be doing a lot of work in math and English language arts this year. We will also be doing some work with science, social studies as well. But the bulk of our work is going to be math and English language arts. In those areas, we are going to be learning a lot of other things too about the world around us. Science will be integrated, social studies will be integrated. In math, your students are going to be learning a lot about numbers. Our big focus is the numbers 0 through 20. As the year goes on, they will be working on adding and subtracting numbers between 0 and 10, and also representing and describing shapes. Numbers 0 through 20 is going to be a big thing in kindergarten. Your student will not only learn to count and recognize the numbers, but your student will also be able to know what 19 means. That 19 means 19 objects, that the 19 looks like a 1 and a 9. It has 2 digits in it. So there's a lot of work we'll be doing with numbers. In English language arts, your students will be learning a lot this year. They will be learning their letters and sounds, how to identify them, how to produce those sounds. They'll be reading and writing CVC words. And parents, those are consonant, vowel, consonant words. It is short vowel words like cat, like cup. Students will learn how to blend the sounds, to put them together and read the word. They'll learn how to listen to the sounds and pull them apart so that they can hear them and write the word and read the word. Your student will also learn to write simple sentences. Some of them are already working on that. We have a class full of writers this year, and I'm very excited about that. Your students will also learn a lot about books. They will learn how to identify details in books, ideas. They'll talk about what happened in the book, and they will learn how to discuss what they've learned with others. Our reading goal for the end of kindergarten is a level D, and we will be talking more about that, and you'll know more about what that means. I encourage you at home as a family to read whenever possible. If you have books at your house and your student wants to read, let them read to you. If you have books at your house and you would like to read to your students, read to your students. If you would like to access books online, on the iPad, on a computer, on a phone, any book is a good book. Celebrate reading. Read as much as you can. Encourage your children to read. If they can't read the words, encourage them to read the pictures. Encourage them to talk about books. Anytime a book can be used to help them learn is a good day. The more they can be around books and the more that they can do with them, the more proficient readers they will be as the school year goes on. For your reference, there is a link here if you're interested in looking at the California Common Core standards. The state-adopted textbooks that we'll be using for kindergarten will be Journeys, Envision, Studies Weekly, and Twig. So you'll see those being used during lessons that we have each day. To talk a little bit more about academics, there will be progress reports that will be communicated with home. More information on this will be coming in September. Report cards will be generated at the end of each trimester. So in November, March, and May, you'll receive a report card that will give you an update on how your student is doing. In November, we will meet for a parent conference so that we can talk about your child's progress. Small group instruction will be provided for students in class. I've communicated information about that to you. We have some assigned Zoom times. And then outside of the instructional day, the READY program does offer enrichment. You can contact the office for more information about this. Distance learning expectations for our class. Parents, I just want to compliment you on doing an awesome job of getting your students on every day to be together with our class and working really hard to get them on at those times that are assigned to them so that they can work with Miss Jen in a small group or a one-on-one setting. So thank you very much. Remember that we get on as a class each day at 8:30, 11 o'clock. Wednesdays we get on at 10:35 instead of 11, and then we all come back on at the end of the day at 1:15, except for Wednesdays where we end the day at noon. Dress code is something that we will talk briefly about. Make sure that your students are dressed and ready to go for our first Zoom time at 8:30 every morning. Remember that the 8 o'clock to 8:30 time frame is an opportunity for your student to do some reading, finish up any seesaw activities or any other classwork that they might have to do. They can choose from some of the apps on their iPad or on the Clever page during that time. Participation. We have our Zoom meet times that are set for our class. Also, your students are getting seesaw activities. They're doing an awesome job of completing that work and submitting it. I'm trying to get in and provide feedback as often as I can so that they know what they can work on and what they're doing well. Also, a reminder, Con Kids and Lexia Core 5, each day students need to be doing about 15 to 20 minutes of Con Kids reading and Con Kids math, and about 15 to 20 minutes of Lexia Core 5. And we'll take a look at those in just a second. Attendance will be taken daily. Make sure that you are present, that you're logging in, that you're completing work. As far as discipline and behavior goes, we are using Class Dojo, and I'm giving points for some of the great things your students are doing. If there is any kind of a behavioral concern, I will make sure that I contact you personally so that we can discuss that. So home to school communication, we use Remind quite a bit. Class Dojo is another tool. You are always welcome to email me. I know some of you are big emailers. Some of you prefer Remind more than others, and that's your go-to. Some prefer the phone calls. Zoom is another option. We can use any or all of those things to make sure that we're staying in touch. Please reach out if you do have questions or concerns. So one of the things that your students will be hearing more and more about this year is Pride here at Lee Richmond. And they were able to see a very special video that the office put together last week talking about Pride. So we're making sure that we are always promoting students being positive, respectful, showing integrity, being disciplined, and exemplary. And we'll continue to talk about those things and make sure that we're reinforcing them each day. So let's take a second now to look around at what students are working on. A couple of things to note as I exit from this PowerPoint and we start looking on the computer. Remember that Khan Kids is on the iPad, it's not on Clever. And I put a picture of what the app looks like here. For Khan Kids, students will just go directly to that app. And remember that they need about 15 to 20 minutes of reading each day, and they also need about 15 to 20 minutes of math. Class Dojo should be coming to the iPads. Parents, I have sent an invite to you so that you can receive information about the great things your kids are doing, and when they get points in Dojo, you're welcome to download the app on any device that you do have. So let's exit the PowerPoint, and we will take a quick look around what your students are doing each day. So the Clever page is something that I'm sure you are all very familiar with. I've put an announcement with Zoom times here, and students have choices for some of their work. You're probably very familiar with this, so let's take a quick look. We talked about Khan Kids, and remember, it is an app on the iPad. I'm on a Windows device right now, so it's telling me that I need to download the app. It is on your student's iPad, and make sure students are accessing daily. Dojo is another place that you can see what's going on with your students and see what they're doing and what they're doing well. Seesaw is a place that your students are visiting daily. They're going in to do activities and complete work. They're doing an awesome job. They can send voice information to me about their work. I can send that back to them. It's a great tool. So make sure you're checking Seesaw daily. Lexia Core 5, when your students log in, it looks different, obviously, because I am in educator mode right now as the teacher. But when your students log into Lexia Core 5 for the first time, they'll go through and they'll do a placement test. And after that, Lexia will move them along at their own pace based on how they're doing. The Richmond Kindergarten Classroom is another choice students have. If they click on it from Clever, they need to make sure they click the present mode, and it will come up right here. They can click different things in the classroom. It will link to videos that they can use to help them learn. Storytime with Ryan and Craig is another choice, a great way for students to listen to stories, to enjoy some reading. That is on their Clever page. Brain Pop is something we'll be talking more about. Students can get into Brain Pop, and I've started assigning some things that they can work on from the Brain Pop app. Studies Weekly is something that we started this week in class. Students will be doing some activities in Seesaw this week with it, and we'll be talking about fun at school this week. Another choice that kids have is Kids A to Z. If kids go into the Kids A to Z, there are some books that have been assigned level A and pre-A books that they can listen to, they can read, so that they can practice reading. I encourage you to have your students get in there and start trying these books. And Freckle is another choice students have on their Clever page. They can go in there. Right now there are some math assignments and some ELA assignments. Students can go in and they can make some choices there, and they can do some work so that they can become better readers and stronger math students. So parents, I want to thank you again for supporting your students. I want to thank you for joining us at Back to School Night tonight. And if you have any questions at any point, please reach out. I'm happy to have your students in class this year, and I'm looking forward to a great year. Have a great evening.